though at the back of my mind, people thought that I had it all figured out, I was still quite fearful of competing against able-bodied people and being thrown in situations where I was only person with a disability around. You know, I had that real anxious, I would never betray it. I was a pretty quiet kid, but it was like, people say the saying, if you ever see a duck, they look calm on the surface and they're swimming, but their legs are moving real fast. That was on my insides. I was really anxious when it came to doing things when other people watching me, quite self-conscious. I was lucky that Mum decided to give me, her aim was to give me a positive body image, so she wanted my shirt to be off in public as much as possible so the kids could see my scars on my arm and they could ask all those questions about did a shark bite it off or did a crocodile bite it off, and I was able to have a bit of fun with the answers as well. Sometimes I went too far and got in trouble from my parents. I say things that got some kids upset, and then I learned the boundaries as well. But the kids at school soon got used to me. The more you get out and do things, after a while they didn't see that I had a disability. They just saw that I was a fast swimmer. They focus on what you can do. So even if it's one small thing you can do well, after a while, the more you have a chance to be in the community and do things, my friends stopped, harping on about my arm and whatnot and asking different questions. They'd have a joke at my expense every now and then. You learn to get thick skin. They didn't go too far though. But they'd forget, so they'd take, my parents also let me play with my friends. They'd go out and play, come back before nightfall, and then you do things like get yourself in a situation where you're trying to get around a certain place, you realise you don't have a left arm and you're stuck. So your body would have to adapt and get through it. So I was lucky that they didn't wrap me up in cotton wool, and that gave me a lot of confidence. So it was all about inclusion, and my parents gave me opportunity to include myself in the community. I even played things like rugby league. My dad didn't want me to play that. They thought I'd get hurt. So he'd make all these pads for my arm and make me look like Frankenstein before I went out in the football field. It was quite embarrassing. But I had to do it to play football. After a while, they let me take it off. But I remember I had to play soccer, and I asked my dad after every soccer season, can I play football? And he said, next year, and he's hoping that I'd forget. Then the year after that, I asked again, and eventually they had to let me play. So I surprised my parents a lot. Even though they were pushing me, had faith in me, they didn't really realise what I could do. And I didn't know what I could do as well until I actually competed and gave it a shot.